Hey, basketball coaches and basketball players, today I'm going to talk to you about how you can become a great point guard in basketball. Let's get down to it. Okay, so number one, I'm going to start with the defense and then I'm going to move over towards the offense. So on defense, this is one of the most important parts of being a point guard. You are the first line of defense to stop the other players, the other team, from scoring on that rim. So this is extremely important. So how are you going to do this? Number one, obviously we don't need a basketball right now. We're trying to get that basketball. So what we're going to do is on defense, I want you to always stay on your toes. This is going to help you change directions faster so that you can keep up with the player who you're defending. Number two is to get low. So we're on our toes. We need to get low. Why do we need to get low? Because if our shoulders are lower than our offensive player who we're guarding's shoulders, you have a higher probability of being faster and more agile than them. So this is why even players like Michael Jordan came out in interviews and said, hey, get your shoulders lower than theirs and you're going to be a great defensive player. You're going to be able to change directions much faster and keep up with that player much better. Now you also have to keep your eye out, or your ears out I should say, for people talking on your team. So if you're defending a player, and let's say I'm defending you right now and I hear, hey, screen right, that means that there's a screen coming from the right side somewhere. And I need to start getting my hand out trying to feel for him so that I know, hey, I need to try and figure out if I need to go above the screen or underneath. These are some of the things that make a really great point guard on the defensive side. Some of the skills, or I should say trainings, that you should really keep your eye out on and actually do is a lot of full court sprints, especially if your team runs a lot of full court offense. Second is foot speed, and to do foot speed exercises is super simple. You don't need an agility ladder, you can make your own, but you don't necessarily need to get one. You can use the free throw line on the court. You can go along it and do opposites or do crosses right along that whole free throw line. You don't need anything special to do this, and this is going to help you become a faster basketball player. Now these foot speed drills, they don't just help you on the defensive side, they also help you on the offensive side. This is going to help you become much faster so that you can attack and drive on whatever defender who's guarding you. So these are going to help you on both the offensive and defensive side. Okay, so some of the skills that you're going to need is to be able to handle the basketball. If you can handle this ball in a full court press under pressure, you're going to be a fantastic point guard. A player who I played with when I was in high school, I'm not going to say his name just for privacy reasons, but you know who you are if you're watching this when I say what he did. And that is, we called him the one-man press break. It was basically get Matt that ball and he's going to be able to beat any press because he was quick with his handles. He kept his handles really low. He's able to cross over super fast. And then he was always able to get it past the half court line, get it out of that full court press. And because he was so quick, he was able to cross over quickly and keep his head up so he knew where everyone was. He could get into an open position to be able to get that ball down court himself or find an open player. He knew how to use angles. He knew, hey, if I start dribbling over towards that right side, so like I was saying, you're going to attack the right side, you're going to do a reverse dribble, you're going to go then attack the left side, cross, and then attack back on the right side. The reason why this move is so effective is because when you're attacking this side, most likely you're going to be attacking a double team, because especially in a trap, you're going to have a player coming from the front as well as the wing to try and force you towards the sideline. That's their ultimate goal. So by attacking that double team, reversing that dribble away from that double team, you're now back in single coverage. You're going to then attack the left side, bringing that defender over. He's going to think that you're going to continue to try and attack that side because that's a very common move. But by attacking that side 1 to 2 dribbles, crossing over quickly and attacking that right side again, you're going to be attacking a gap that's wide open. Now, when you make this crossover, make sure you hop into it because it's going to help you explode out of it a lot faster. Now, Matt, he was a very good player who did this a lot. There's quite a few other moves that he did, but he was just super fast. So 98% of the time, he could just beat any trap off the dribble because of his overall speed. Now, ball handling drills are extremely important. Just knowing where that ball is going to bounce, crossovers, try to pound as hard as you can when you're practicing your dribbling. This is going to help you with your arm strength, but also your ability to dribble up the court and run an offense. Being able to have your head up, running an offense, being able to dribble obviously with one hand if you're younger, but being able to run different plays that are going to help you be able to run your team. You have to remember that the point guard is the quarterback on offense, and he's going to be the one who decides the plays. But also, you have to remember, he's the one at the top of the key. So he's the one who gets to see the defense. He sees if the other team is running a 2-3 zone, a 3-2 zone, or a man-to-man defense, or some kind of a weird thing like my unbeatable basketball defense, which looks like multiple different types of defenses depending on what's going on. So by understanding that as a point guard, if you're a guard, the first thing that you should be doing other than shooting and dribbling is obviously learning basketball offenses. And those would be your offenses, but also learning defenses, what a defense looks like, what does a man-to-man look like versus a zone defense, and things like that. That's gonna help you a ton understand what to do. Now, another thing that's really massive for point guards to do is to know how to shoot a ball. So there's really good point guards out there who, if they could just know how to shoot the ball at a high level, they could easily become an elite point guard in the NBA. The reason why I say this is, sure, you can have those ball handling skills, you can have those passing and court vision skills, but if you don't have shooting, the defense is going to sag off of you. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have the ball right now, and I know you can't shoot. Let's say you're a 20% shooter or you're a 15% shooter. I'm going to give you a little bit more room, because now that's going to stop you from attacking me to get to the basket, and that's going to now force you into taking a shot or passing the ball off. Now, if I force you into taking a shot and you're only a 15% shooter, I'm going to turn around right away, box you out at the free throw line, and wait for that long rebound. Now, if you were a good shooter, that's going to pull me up closer to you to guard you. And because of that, what that's going to do for you now is it's going to allow you to attack the basket and create more opportunities. Because by me sitting back, staying wide, now any player cutting baseline, you have a lesser chance of hitting them with a pass, because now I'm taking up more of their space, more of the passing airtime. With me closer to you, it's now creating a bigger target for players who are cutting baseline. The farther back I move, the smaller target they have. So by you having a really good shot as a guard, it's going to pull me up, and it's going to be able to have you now to essentially create your own offense and create offense for your teammate. Now, some really basic skills when it comes to shooting is to have the elbow underneath that ball. That is the biggest thing that I can tell any single player who wants to shoot the basketball better. Look at your shot in a mirror. Is your shot out like this? Is your shot too far in like this? Or is it pretty well right underneath that ball? It's going to be just to the right of that ball, because you want that ball to go off your middle finger. Other than that, that is the biggest tip that I can give you, mainly because your elbow is your aim. That's going to give you left and right. Then coming off of your middle finger is going to give you left and right. If it goes these two fingers, it's going to go left. If it hits those two fingers, it's going to go right. Simple math, longest finger has to touch it last. Next is your distance. Once you get your aim down, once I get as a trainer, once I get a player's aim down, like it's going straight all the time, that's the hardest part. The easiest part is the distance. Now, if you wear glasses, different glasses are going to seem like the basket might be farther and closer to you. So keep that in mind if you're switching between goggles and glasses, or glasses and contact lenses. You want to practice with the same glasses as you're going to play in. And from there, because I have glasses, these are prescription, these seem like the nets are actually closer to me, while my actual glasses seem like they're farther away. And that's why I always wear these, because I'm usually outside when I'm playing basketball, at least these days. And when I get into the court, I wear goggles, which are actually the same curvature to the glasses, which means that it's going to be pretty well the same. And then what you want to do is, when you're working on distance of shooting, you want to use your legs. That's what's going to give you the biggest difference. So if your shot is short, which means it's always hitting the front of the rim or it's giving you an air ball, you want to use more legs on your shot. However, if your shot is long, which means it's always either hitting the backboard, hitting the back of the rim, or flying over the backboard like a field goal in football, what you want to do then is to give yourself more arc, which is nothing to do with the legs. You want to keep your legs the same at that point. You want to try and jump as high as you can, really, on your shot in most cases, unless you're shooting a three-point competition, which I'm going to explain that in a totally different video. But when you're shooting too long, instead of pushing the ball farther, what you want to do is push the ball higher, which is going to give you more arc, which is then going to give you a shot that's not going to be as far. But the more arc on the ball anyways is going to allow that ball to bounce in, kind of like the Kawhi Leonard shot against the Sixers in last year's playoffs. Now, I hope that these offensive and defensive skills are going to help you become a better point guard. If they do, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.